This week, I started school again, and I'm sure a lot of you are finding yourselves in a similar situation where you've been working a lot on something like YouTube or photography over the summer, and now that you're back in school, you don't have nearly as much time as you would like to devote to that. School definitely has the potential to siphon your time away from everything else in your life, but it doesn't have to. So in today's video, I want to give you a bunch of different ways to save time and use your time efficiently so you have more than enough time left over to devote to filmmaking, photography, whatever it may be. The first thing you should be focused on is saving time in school, and the best way to do this is just by making sure you use all of the extra time you might find yourself with productively and efficiently. The more work you get done at school, the less you have to do once you get home, so it's definitely important to maximize the time that you have while you're stuck in school. If you want an easy way to just get a lot more time to get work done while you're in school, just get a study hall period. Especially if you're someone like me where you get schoolwork done a lot faster in a school environment than you do when you're at home and you get distracted. This is going to save you a lot of time. Just having that extra hour to get work done in school can easily save me a solid 2 hours at home. Now that you've hopefully freed up some more time to get work done once you get home, it's still super important to make sure that you're using that time efficiently. One thing I make sure to do is get all of my schoolwork out of the way before I even start working on videos. Just separating your workload out into big chunks like this, instead of doing maybe a little bit of schoolwork and then a little bit of editing and then going back to schoolwork and then editing more, you're not going to be very focused on anything if you're doing it that way, and you're just going to be distracted and wasting time going between those different tasks. So it's definitely more productive overall, and it's going to save you a lot of time in the long run if you break your work up into big chunks. No matter how you plan to spend your time, it's extremely beneficial to just write it down. Write down a plan for how you're spending your week. Write down your morning routine, and most importantly, make a daily to-do list. Right after I leave school, I make a list of everything I need to get done while I'm at home, and my goal for the rest of the day is just to complete all of those tasks. You're definitely going to get a lot of work done when the time comes if you just know up front what you need to do before you start doing it. Another good way to keep yourself on track is to set time limits for yourself. So whenever I work out, I set a 1 hour timer. So 1 hour after I start, even if I'm not done yet, I stop. That might sound a little bit questionable, like I'm just getting less of a workout in than I would if I didn't have that timer, but that's not really the case. What it's done is just encourage me to stop wasting time and get the same thing done in a shorter amount of time. Next, let's talk about your work environment, which is more important than you might think. I know plenty of people in high school who get off school, go home, and get into their bed and just stay there pretty much until they go to school the next day, and you're simply not going to get as much work done sitting in your bed as you will at an actual desk. That one was tough for me too. But unfortunately, it's true. You can pretty much always expect to get more work done when you're in an environment that promotes productivity over comfort. Another way you can change your work environment to make it more productive is to eliminate distractions, like your phone. There are a lot of services that do pretty much the same thing, but I use an app called Stay Focused that basically just blocks out apps of your choice like Instagram or YouTube and just blocks those so you can get more work done. The company that makes this app isn't like paying me to promote their product or affiliated with this video or anything. It's just the first thing that came up in the App Store. So there's that disclaimer. One final and very important step you can take is just to make your workflow more efficient. So like last year, I was making tutorials that had a bunch of flashy transitions on just about every B-roll shot, and I even had like crazy animations on my screen recordings, and it was just spending all of my time editing these little details in that didn't really contribute that much to the video, even though they looked cool. Since I've stopped using a lot of those transitions and animations and started just using regular screen recordings in my videos, I'm not only able to make more tutorials and longer videos, but I'm also able to focus on more important things like the B-roll, having good shots filmed for the video, and having meaningful animations that actually contribute to the tutorial. But even though it's great to focus on making your process more efficient, sometimes to stay creative, you just need to change something, whether that's what you're creating, the way you're creating it, or the environment that you're creating it in. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, do feel free to share your support by leaving a like on the video, sharing it with your friends, or even subscribing to my channel. I upload 2 new filmmaking tutorials every single week. But that's all for this one. Keep creating, and I'll see you in the next one.